all you brilliant Anons, Patriots, Q Army, how are you today?
And talk about boom, boom, boom. You don't see that.
Thank you, Mr. President. We fight every day here on the Matrixxx Groove Hour. It is 1:03 p.m., 1303 minutes on the East Coast. And without further ado, let me bring in my partner in justice, Shady Groove. Shady.
I want to go.
You want to go?
I want to go.
Where? Where do you want to go?
Woohoo! How's everybody doing out there?
My gosh, how awesome was it that our president today did the boom, boom, boom for us? How cool was that? Press 45 if you love the president sitting in today and gave us the boom, boom, boom for the beginning of the show today. What do you guys think of that?
I love the booms.
POTUS brought the booms today. Wow, man, I tell you, I've had, it was kind of a, there, look at all those 45s. There's our president. He brought the booms. I love it. And here it is yesterday. Was it yesterday? Here it is right here. Let's just watch the whole thing real quick.
See order, and I'm just saying, boy, it's incredible stuff when you watch the general get up, General Semonite, and talk about boom, boom, boom.
There it is. We don't see that.
You don't see that.
We see it here, right here on the Matrixxx Groove Hour, but don't we, everybody? I love it. And that
you guys see it.
You guys see it. You know, we got a pretty big week ahead. Just so you know, we're going to have David Nino Rodriguez on the show tomorrow. And I'm really excited for that. Let's just go ahead and play that promo real quick. Here we go.
Hey everybody, this is David Rodriguez. I'm going to be on the Matrixxx Groove Show, 1 p.m. Eastern Time on Wednesday, April 22nd. Going to discuss the video that went viral and all the backlash and positive feedback I've gotten from it. Thank you. See you there.
Wow. So he's going to be on the show tomorrow. He's an amazing guy. If you don't remember, get ahead of it right now. And child trafficking exposed. Here's the whole video in this thread here. And I want you guys to check that out. We're going to go through some of this with him. Joseph Flynn says it's pretty serious, so I think it's pretty serious. And, he is asking for your prayers as well. He's been feeling pretty heavy. I think there's a lot of, a lot of attacks going on right now as the evil is trying to fight back and save face.
Yeah, I mean, we're seeing lots of different fronts being attacked, including David and, obviously Out of Shadows. We've gotten more negative tweets from Corey Feldman towards Out of Shadows. Mm-hmm. And so the gatekeepers out there are really, they're really irritated that this information is kind of breaking out past the barrier, out past the breaker, and getting into the mainstream thought forms of the world, really.
Yeah, and the trolls are losing their mind right now because
they're a little bit triggered, aren't they?
Let me tell you why, Shady. I believe that this little clip that we played when we had Joseph Flynn on here justifies this entire movement. And this video should be viral. And let's check it out, Shady. And I'll get your commentary. Check it out. Yep. Buffering. Did I tell you it was buffering?
I met a couple years ago in Dallas.
I remember,
okay.
Yeah.
Let's watch the beginning now. Jeez, here we go. Guest here for you guys, Mike.
Wow.
I want to introduce. Yeah, they don't like this video, do they, Shady? Let's just try it one more time over here. Let's try this. Here we go. Guest here for you guys, Mike.
Wow.
I want to
I don't know how
introduce.
special.
I want
These
to
guys are
Very,
special.
very
Oh my
special.
goodness.
Where did he go?
I'd like to introduce Joe Flynn to
There he is.
everyone. Mike, Kevin, Brad, Joe Flynn is joining us. Hey, Joe.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, Joe.
Joe.
Hey, boy,
How
it's a
you doing,
pleasure.
brother?
Thanks.
Kevin, nice to see you again. You and I met a couple years ago in Dallas.
That I remember. Yes, good to
Yeah.
see you too.
Yeah.
Wow,
It's all
Joe, the
looking
pleasure,
good.
sir. Yeah,
So,
thanks,
Mike,
nice
I
to
wanted
meet
to do this for Mike. Mike really has an affinity, and Brad, and I know Kevin as well, has an affinity for the Flynns, Mike. So I wanted to have Joe Flynn pop in. I actually texted the video to Joe, and he was like, "Oh my gosh, Joe."
You know, and then about 25 minutes later, General Flynn texted it to me. Maybe you sent it to him, too.
I sent it to him
Wow.
DM, yes.
Because he turned around and sent it to me. He goes, "You got to watch this. You got to watch it today. Stop what you're doing. Watch it."
Wow.
There you go. The General Flynn
There you
concurs, Mike.
There you go. What a great job you guys did. I mean, the honesty and the purity of the message that you guys created with this video just came across so strongly. I cannot tell you how authentic it all came across. I'm honestly really proud of you. It's really well done.
Mike. Hello, sir.
Finally speechless for once. Like,
Mike,
I was trying to get him speechless, Joe. That's why I wanted you to come on. Thank you, sir. Actually, Mike and I have been talking, and Shady have been talking for over a year on his, quest for this video. And I know he loves General Flynn. In fact, he dedicated this to General Flynn and the family.
Man, that was such a special moment to be able to surprise those guys after all of the amazing work that they did to not only put the documentary together, but to bring their real story. And it was right under the deadline. He really wanted to get it out on 4/10/20. And so we wanted to, it was just really special to be able to surprise them with a little visit from Joe and a little kick in the pants of what a wonderful, great job you guys did. Lots of translations. Yeah. Check your sound, Matrixxx.
In the Matrixxx is in the house. Fa la 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 la. We've got 1,000 people guests online right now. This is translated in 12 languages. We've got English, we've got Dutch, we've got Japanese. That's the QRME Japanese. We've got Chinese, guys. We've got Czech Republic. We've got Russian. We've got Espanol. We've got Francais. We've got Lithuanian. We've got Polish. We've got
This is incredible.
Portuguese. We've got more coming soon, guys. And if you guys have any that we missed here, please DM them to me on in the Matrixxx there. So, wow, guys, we've got it all, folks. How awesome is that, Shady?
I mean, it's super awesome. And to think that we have, the amount of views that this is actually getting out there, massively suppressed by YouTube, lots of normal people who want to see the movie, who aren't necessarily conspiracy minded people or whatever, are not understanding why they can't find it on YouTube. It's very interesting how this is multiple levels of red pilling people to understand. It's like, hey, this whole side that's been saying that you guys are just out of your minds because you're being censored. I mean, we've been censored hard, and for all of the real information, they don't really censoring the people that are out there talking fluff, are they?
That's right. And look at that, 9.4 million. And then that Vice Gaming is making money off it because they do have commercials enabled, and they've got almost 3 million or more. So look, this is gathering a lot of steam, folks. And, I found something very interesting yesterday, Shady. Yesterday, so yeah, I was talking to Mike yesterday, and I was reading him a Q post. Let me just go grab it really quick. and it's kind of special. You know, yes, we know all about the open mic, guys. We're going to play that. Give us a second. It's funny. Everybody's like, open mic. We got it. Apparently everybody already knows about it, so we don't even have to cover it.
Right.
But you guys are fun. You guys are fun. Thank you. We are going to get to it. I promise you. We've got a lot to go over here today on the Matrixxx Groove Hour. And thank you guys very much for tuning in. Please hit the like, share, subscribe. Make sure you're subscribed as well. But I wanted to bring this.
Resubscribe.
Yeah, and resubscribe because you were probably unsubscribed. I'm reading this to Mike yesterday. And I'm like, this is your post. This is 812. It's on February 22nd, 2018. They want you divided. How can some be so blind? Help wake them up. Estimated 20 million reached. Question everything. Remember, the truth is learned. He said question everything. He said the truth is learned, never told with my quote. I love that. Thank you, Mike. Keep talking. Stand up. Fight, fight, fight. How do they control children? What prevents a child revealing the truth? Shady. Do you realize that February 22nd is George Washington's birthday? And do you realize that's Mike's birthday?
And that is true as well.
Wow.
What an interesting post to have on his birthday, huh?
Right,
From
just
2 years ago.
Yeah, just like my Matrixxx post on my birthday from 2 years ago. You know, it's just like, you can't make this stuff up. I mean, another coincidence. I had chills. Mike and I were talking. He's like, oh my gosh. Who are we speaking to here? I mean, just very interesting stuff, guys. I just wanted to share that with you. I thought that was absolutely amazing. There's also interesting to note here, too, that Out of Shadows is practically mainstream. It's on Go Movies HD and Vumu Movies now. There's Vumu and with Out of Shadows right there, and Out of Shadows right there on Go Movies. So I want to thank John right now for doing such an amazing job on scraping the internet to find all the languages. We have them all in one place. Spread them, get them out there. But very amazing stuff, guys.
Yeah, and again, a big thanks to Mike, Liz, and Brad and Kevin for an amazing job. And an unbelievable red pill, ladies and gentlemen, an unbelievable red pill this is, and it's waking people up, and that is our goal.
Right, and here's another little hit piece. They're defending Maria Abramovic.
Yeah, I saw this.
Yeah, and then this is a long article. I'm gonna have the mods.
Hashtag not a Satanist.
Hashtag she's not Luciferian, not a Satanist. Yeah, right. No. You're telling me that this lady posing with child bones is not a Satanist? Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
I believe it. So this is Kevin Sorbo tweeting it out. He is Let There Be Light actor. That's amazing. He's an actor, director, producer, author. There's a lot of people coming out of shadows. Here's the Katie Couric deleted tweet.
Yeah, Katie Couric doesn't think that it's a very good idea for you to be able to see the president's briefings just like a lot of the other mainstream media mockingbirds, aren't they?
That's right.
Yeah,
that's right.
But she deleted it. I think that we were talking before. I think that they're actually starting to read the comments below their tweets instead of just tweet and move on.
You think? Do you think they are? I think very well could be.
I don't know, but it definitely seems like they're more aware of what's underneath their tweet these days than they were a couple of years ago.
And Shady, I wanted to just play this right now. This is the YouTube. Susan, thank you very much for being the YouTube CEO. And I just want to just play this, and I'd say I totally agree with you. Here we go.
We've actually seen a 75% increase in the news coming from authoritative sources since the beginning of 2020. So we've seen a lot of demand there. But then we also
what does that mean? That means an increase in video views for those?
Yeah, and so we talk about that as raising authoritative information. But then we also talk about removing information that is problematic. Of course, anything that is medically unsubstantiated, so people saying like, take vitamin C, take turmeric, like those all will cure you. Those are the examples of things that would be a violation of our policy. Anything that would go against World Health Organization recommendations would be a violation of our policy. And so remove is another really important part of our policy.
So you're not just putting the truth next to the lie. You're taking the lie down. That's a pretty aggressive approach.
Well, we do remove, across YouTube in non-pandemic times, information that is a violation of our policy. And we've had community guidelines since the very beginning of YouTube, and we've always, anything that is a violation of our policy, we do remove it. And what was really unique about this was just how fast-moving the COVID-19 crisis was. And so we've had to make numerous policy changes all within a really short period of time to be able to make sure that we stayed abreast of the changes. So, for example, just recently there was a theory that 5G was causing coronavirus symptoms. Now, no established health organization says that 5G is the source of the issue. And so that we quickly deemed that a violation of our policies with COVID-19 and remove that content.
And we're not going to comment at all on this video, but thank you, Susan, for demonetizing us. That's it. I want to just show you that, guys, okay? Shady? Any non-comment?
I have no non-comment.
All right, thank you very much. Right? So let's watch this. This is hilarious. This is Brad Parscale. Let's check this out.
We turn now to that $350 billion fund to help small businesses and its workers get through the shutdown.
It will be up to Congress to restock it.
But Democrats blocking that move this morning.
They asked for $250 billion in 48 hours. I said, well, I don't think so. They objected, and I congratulate the Senate Democrats.
Speaker Pelosi, what are you going to share with us from your home?
Chocolate candy.
Thousands have been forced to wait for hours at food banks all across the country.
This is chocolate, and then we have some other chocolate here. We just got it restocked with the ice cream.
You don't want to eat up everything all at one time.
I can't do it much longer. I'm trying so hard.
We were, shall we say, enjoying.
Having to admit that, yeah, we're starving, and
I like it better than anything else.
Taping this segment, there are 22 million people out of work.
This specific program is about stopping job losses today.
This is hurting people bad.
Other people in our family go for some other flavors, but
right now it's survival move. You don't know where that next something else is going to come from.
I don't know what I would have done if ice cream were not invented. I just wonder.
Let them eat ice cream. Nancy Antoinette.
Let them eat cake.
Yeah. And you know, it's funny, or not funny, that the $250 billion is the George Soros money, guys. We've already got the sods, $4 trillion. We've got, Rothschild, $2 trillion, and we're trying to get phase 4, the other trillion, into the Treasury. And that's what people don't get. People don't understand that our economy is slow and bad, if you will, right now. I get it. And it's tough for a lot of Americans right now. But what we're seeing, and we're going to kind of get into this a little bit deeper here, Shady, if you would like. I actually think that all this stuff that we're going together, the quarantine, the big oil, the drop in the big oil, something big is about to drop. And I've always stated that that was big oil, not Tom Hanks, just so you know. We've stated that on this show and in the Pay Sewer thread as well. But Shady, I mean, I think we're witnessing something very amazing. And let's just go through this big oil. And you know, if you want to comment on that, because I want to take them through this and then take a look at what this quarantine means and compare it to a video that Q drops a lot. So stay tuned. I think we got some good stuff here for you guys. Shady.
Yeah, let's maybe just work our way through the thread and these drops that we've got it connected to here, and then kind of bat it back and forth a little bit at the end, so we can kind of give you guys an overview of what we're thinking is going on. That, you know, obviously none of the mainstream media is showing you, but at the same time, I don't see a lot of anons talking about this either.
No, they just attack us on the Chan boards, Shady. That's all they do, because I think we. And some of the great anons out there are talking about it, but the boards are infiltrated. It's actually pretty disgusting. So big oil, and that is a name that is used to describe the world's 6 or 7 largest publicly traded oil and gas companies, also known as super majors. Something big is about to drop. And yesterday, oil hits a penny a barrel. It even went negative, Shady. And I think you've got an article. Should I grab that now, or do you want to, let me see, where is it in Zoom?
Oh, well, that was relevant. Was that relevant to this?
Well, this is oil hits a penny a barrel, right? So something big is about to drop. Big oil dropped, folks. Let's just keep going. So 1802, could it be big oil? Because it dropped, folks, and it dropped massively. Okay? Let's go down a little further. So something big is about to drop. Continue. What about Total SA? Total SA is a French multinational integrated oil and gas company and one of the 7 super major oil companies in the world. This is a Q post, folks.
Sure is.
And we read it upside down, bottom to top, I should say, and we say en garde because it is French. Right? So en garde, we await your answer, 48. 48 families, bloodlines. Will the U.S. expose the names of corrupt officials plus con deal? Will Iran expose the names of corrupt officials? Pickle. Oh, yeah. Pickle. Who do elected leaders report to? Who controls the elected leaders? Will the U.S. be forced to ban and declare certain EU countries off limits? Where is Kerry? Why is Kerry in the EU? Our POTUS is talking about that yesterday, and the day before. Will the EU resort to protecting the deal so that money flow remains in place? Fake news. What about preventing Iran nuclear capabilities? What about the safety and security of the world? Coincidence? What was their purpose? Who recently visited the White House? Total SA is a French multinational integrated oil and gas company and one of the 7 super major oil companies in the world. A group representing German trade interests said the U.S. decision to withdraw from the deal will hit German companies and urged the EU to protect their interests. Trade between Germany and Iran reached 3.4 billion euros, $4 billion, last year, according to the BGA, another foreign trade association. What about Total SA, guys? Very interesting, no? And here are your big oil. These are your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? Total SA is one of them. ConocoPhillips, Chevron, BP, Royal Dutch Shell, Exxon. So
now, if we see this and then we connect this back, you guys, this is, all of these oil companies go back to the turn of the century, to the early 1900s and the quote unquote demonopolization of Standard Oil into all of these other subgroups. Now we all know that didn't actually happen. What it was a facade, something to show, something to make people think that it has been split up, much like they do to companies now. They make you think they're being split up, but they're actually not. They're just being moved around in the financial world to make it look like different people are controlling them when the same families are in control all the time. Also connected to Iran, production of oil, OPEC, and the early or the late 1800s takeover of that country is being dismantled right now. That is what we are seeing. We're seeing the boogeyman, quote unquote, that is coming to get you being dismantled because they really aren't. This is all a show. Everything to do with Iran, Israel, the fighting, Palestinians, all this stuff is controlled to make havoc in our world. And they, the same side funded both sides of World War II. Let's not forget.
Right, and so Total SA is a after a company. It's like how we have LLCs and stuff like that here, and Germany has GmbH. Total SA is French. They use SA at the end. So I want you to understand that is not Saudi Arabia. It is French. So
is Nancy Antoinette French?
Yes.
I'm hoping everybody's getting this out there.
Why did we attack Iraq? Halliburton? Who are they? What do they specialize in, Shady? What is oil field service? Why is this relevant? What senior level political officials are affiliated with Halliburton? Why? What is the primary goal? What is the primary mode of influences that drive? This is from QPost 117, guys. Okay? Who financed 9/11? I mean, this post is amazing. And, what does money buy? How is this connected to SA? How is this connected to Alawite? How is this connected to LV? Las Vegas, guys. I mean, this is the big con, folks. So, Shady, how do we get to this? Let's just do this last one. This is interesting too. So, This is your $2.99, folks. This is the Rothschilds are the cult leaders. Then you have the church on top of them. Then you have P, the Pacer Trust, on top of them. Banks, financial institution, worldwide government control. Government controls people. S.A., oil, tech, sex, children. S.A. controls, assigns U.S., U.K. politicians, tech companies primary. Soros, which is the last bit we're waiting on here if the Senate wants to finish passing his money over to the Treasury, controls organizations of people, creates division, brainwash, management, operator of slush funds, personal net worth, never reduces, think DOJ settlements, consumer Iran viral packs, etc., rock, past, auth over followers, authority over followers, present, future, order is critical, strings cut to US, UK, expand your thinking, swamp drain, 1, sexual harassment, exit, future, R, no, bombs away, bomb away, Q. So they're cutting the strings to the oil tech, guys.
And the monarchy or the monopoly, which is pretty much the same thing.
Right. Absolutely. And that brings us to the Pacers.
Right. And the manipulation. Okay. So what's been going on is a manipulation of the market consistently. In other words, we can't have too much oil produced because it'll make the price too low. Right.
Right.
And then during the Iraq War, even the first Gulf War and leading into the second war with Bush Jr., everything has been held to a certain standard. And if you noticed, it escalated at one point. I think we were at like $150 to $170 a barrel to manipulate the market. These are all Federal Reserve games that the bloodline families are playing to crash the economy and to manipulate and to steal from you. This is how they steal from you. What's happening right now is the president is adjusting the price of oil to an actual value as opposed to the inflated cabal value to set off a firestorm of other things. Now, there's a lot of stuff going on out there right now with oil dropping like this. You got to understand, we've been recently became the number one producer of energy, right, in America here in the last couple of years under the president. A lot of that's attributed to fracking, shale oil. Well, I'm here to say that fracking and shale oil is not a viable option once you get below about, say, $45, $50 a barrel for oil. So what you're seeing is a complete reorganization of energy and energy independence. And the president yesterday talked about we've topped off and bottomed out. So we're buying all of this stock up that's sitting out there that nobody can sell because not only is, the price of oil falling, but nobody's driving around right now. So the market is flooded with the product. So it seems to me like we're going to go back to a point where fuel prices are not something that debilitates you to live and work every day. As a matter of fact, it's going to be something that comes back to a reasonable, manageable price. And the oil is not even close to unavailable. That's all a narrative. And I think the president has some further sights on 0 point energy and what we can really do as far as, charging our cell phones and stuff. There's lots of different options out there that people aren't aware of, but it's not being talked about. And, it's not going to be the future. It's not going to be oil, and the future is not going to be fracking.
Right. And one of the big cons, too, is when the oil companies in Texas, said, hey, we'll use your oil and you can buy our debt. So whoever thought that it was ever a good idea, Shady, I'm going to buy your debt. Is that a good idea? Let me buy your debt, Shady, and I'll hold your debt. Here, take it. Whoever thought that was a good idea?
Like, are you going to actually give me money for my debt?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But in real business, here we are, small business owners here in America. If we get debt, we go out of business, Shady.
Yeah, it does seem that way.
If we can't pay back our debt, we go out of shit. Yes, there's a video out there with a hot mic. Wow. Yes, we're going to get to that, guys. You guys are hilarious. But this is very important information because I don't think people really understand what is really happening right now. And let's take a zoom out real quick.
Our economy is being completely restructured.
It's being completely restructured, and we are getting away from admiralty law. Okay. When a
Going
vessel,
back to the land.
Yes, when a vessel, one if by land, two if by sea, when a vessel is infected, in Admiralty law, it is quarantined for 40 days. We're on day 36 right now. So is America a vessel?
Yes.
Are we being quarantined to get rid of the scourge, the plague?
Yes.
Now
And
let's
are
watch.
are we headed back to land?
Are we headed back to the law of the land? Now look, this is Chanel Rion. She reports that the U.S. Energy Secretary Daniel Brûlé announces that he's been authorized to expand the Strategic Petroleum Reserve to 1 billion barrels. I'm Brit Hume. I'm 1 billion barrels. I'm Brit Hume. Sexy vinyl vixens. So the current oil reserve is at 713.5 million barrels. We're going to get 1 billion barrels in your reserves. This is your reserves, people.
Reserves that are supposed to be there that have been depleted since Bush won.
That's right.
Okay, so this is strategic reserves that they have been keeping strategically unstocked so that whenever their disaster occurred in America, there would be no strategic reserves.
That's right.
It was a big, long plan.
They wanted the Treasury gone, and they wanted they wanted us gone, guys.
Well, everybody likes to think that this is like some sort of, decade-long plan. You have to understand this has been going on for a couple of hundred years, if not longer. Ever since the shot heard around the world that we were just celebrating day before yesterday, Lexington and Concord, this has been the attempt to usurp, divide, and control all assets that are not coming under their monarchy or their payment schedule.
That's right. And why was the Treasury formed, folks? Do you guys even, I'm not saying do you guys even, because you guys know. Do people even realize, people that we are talking to realize that the Treasury was set up by the Continental Congress to get away from Britain, quote unquote?
To have our own money to save.
And guess what they did? They gave people money to get by while we're going through that war. Do you guys understand the history of this? It's amazing.
Well, it's also, a connection to the money system that was here before, which was a fiat system that the British had. And the part of the Treasury was to invent, create, and sustain sound money, precious metals.
That's right. And let's take a look. Congress founds the U.S. Treasury. This was their solution was issuing cash that doubled as redeemable bills of credit, raise enough capital to fuel the revolution. It's exactly what's happening today.
And you know what? You know what the next level of this is going to be? You're getting ready to see all across the country in your individual states. You're getting ready to see what taxes really look like on your fuel. You're getting ready to see the state doubling the price of your fuel because half of it goes to them in taxes that they waste and spend. And you notice your roads aren't very good. Where's the money go that they're saying that they're using for roads and bridges? Well, I live in Oregon and the roads and bridges out here are in a little bit of disrepair.
That's right. So what if we are getting away from Admiralty law? Let's take a look at the video that Q gives us. And let's think of, let's just all have in our minds that the ship, the where we go one, we go all ship,
us
is America. Let's watch this.
Beneath you is not a toy. Sailing's not a game.
So why the hell do it?
Bill's character, Mr. Preston, of which you are in desperately short supply.
They came from different places. And this Ocean Academy isn't recognized as accredited.
It'll be a good
So we as Americans came from different places.
I don't want to be what I was when I left.
There you go.
Anonymous.
But there was only one way.
We'll do it together.
I can't.
Climb!
To survive on his ship.
I will challenge them, and they will come together.
Become a team.
Where we go one, we go all.
Because where he was taking them...
What are they doing?
Claiming their place in the world.
Could not be measured in miles.
Ready!
thought they had survived the greatest challenge of their lives.
We had come through every kind of seas imaginable.
Except a white squall.
But it was only
White squalls are a phenomenon of the imagination.
the calm
What happened to my ship was not imagined.
before the storm. Largo Entertainment presents a film about loyalty.
Where we go one,
We go up.
Discovery.
But we're a crew. That's what this whole thing is about.
And courage.
Don't you walk out of this, Skipper, you don't! Captain, they're only boys. We listened to you, we believed you!
they're much more than that, sir.
And we are still here!
Jeff Bridges in a Ridley Scott film. White Squall. Based
So,
on a true story.
I mean, how amazing is that? They came from different places. They're claiming their place in the world. That's what we're doing.
Independent, maybe, if you will.
Yes, we didn't realize that we had a storm that took over us, and we're going through this storm right now to claim our country back. One, if by land, two, if by sea. We are getting out of by sea, aka Admiralty law, and quarantine is Admiralty law, folks. 40 days.
And we made a bunch of connections to that. You know, the quarantine, the 40 days, that's how long it would take them to quarantine boats and ships from before in the old world.
That's right. That's right. So we are
And we're
quarantining
40
our
days of it.
vessel. We are so they consider you a vessel. Do you realize that? Your birth certificate, birth. You come down a birth canal. Do you guys understand that you have been under Admiralty law?
You're actually considered if you have a birth certificate in America, you are considered lost at sea.
That's right. Because your mom signs you away with her own hand.
Yes.
With your birth certificate. Then they put you, oh, Shady, a bouncing baby boy, 7 pounds, 20 ounces or whatever, and nobody claims you.
Nope. As a matter of fact,
those are birth announcements, but if nobody claims you, you go to the state, guys. You know, they have screwed us over and over and over, but no more because we are sheep. These sheep, KNO more. We know more. Shady.
It's hard to keep you in the dark any longer. And that is, that whether it be naturalization or any type of process that you encounter with the law, when you go to court right now, you are considered guilty. Very simple. The definition of justice by your legal system is not the right person goes to jail. The definition of justice in your current Admiralty law legal system is just collection of revenue. Okay? That is not the same as remedy in law. Our Constitution provides us remedy in law, meaning that if I do something wrong to someone, then I must have a way to repay that damage, to remedy that situation. But the state does not have the authority to levy remedy to the state, only another American. This is the way your Constitution is supposed to work. But instead, we walk in there and we stand there and we have a king in a black robe that looks down at us and acts like if we say anything out of line, then we're going to jail. That is not common law. That is Admiralty, maritime law of the sea, the holy sea.
And look at this. That's interim guidance for ships managing suspected coronavirus on the quarantine. This is maritime law, folks. And I just did quarantine and maritime. So this is infectious diseases and maritime law. It's 40 days, folks. Quarantine is part of maritime law.
How long was the Noah flood?
40 days.
Huh.
How long did Jesus fast? 40 days. Right now, Laura Ingraham is keeping an account right now where I think we're going to be at 36, 37 days. And you notice POTUS is ready to open the country. You see, it's biblical, guys. This is biblical. And I think we were onto something here, folks, and something big is about to drop. Now, there's another tweet I did the other day. What if force the Q wasn't question? What if it was force the quarantine?
And then, well, that makes a lot of sense, because force the quarantine, we wouldn't be in an emergency declaration right now, would we, without a quarantine? So without a quarantine, then the president wouldn't have the levers at his disposal to push and pull regarding the economy.
And to get out of the Federal Reserve, the Admiralty law, the crap that's been plaguing us for a long time. And you notice how our president keeps referring it to a scourge, a plague. You see, it's amazing if you listen to his terminology, in my opinion.
Well, did you ever type that into Google? Like, if you go to Google and type in hidden scourge, look what comes up.
Yeah.
You know, the very first hit is human trafficking in Southeast Asia.
Wow.
And then the hidden scourge, Trump, the FDA dealing signals of coronavirus spreading. So the hidden scourge is human trafficking.
That's right. And we know, you'll find out, we know that is basically human trafficking. He wants to, when he did that, what do we have here? And he drew the Q.
Crimes against humanity.
That's right. Crime against humanity. And, that's it too. That one of his biggest things is we're going to put the full weight of the government behind it, guys.
And I'd like to re-emphasize just what we kind of breezed over it for a second, but we back up to that Q post you were just showing. Big oil, sex, trafficking, children,
right,
connected to the same thing. Do you get this? All trafficking is being hidden by the oil trade.
That's right. This is this one right here, Shady.
That's it.
Oil, tech, sex, children. 5-5?
One and the same.
That's how they're financing it, folks. We cut the strings.
The oil barons aren't different than the Luciferian cabal.
They're the same.
They're the same. They're not different than the Iranian regime. They're not different than the regime that has meleeed North Korea. They're not different than the regime that is embedded in the communist government of China. It's all the same thing. Old Europe, the Vatican, City of London,
Washington, D.C.
Washington, D.C., same swamp. And what better time to drain a swamp, Matrixxx, than during the quarantine?
Well, I think we had to drain the swamp during the quarantine because of Admiralty law.
Correct.
Now look at, why do we have a Statue of Liberty? We know that that's a gift from France, okay? But when you come off a ship, you go on liberty to go on land.
That's correct.
They call it liberty. You're going on liberty. So look at this. This is 2346. Important moment in time. And we know it's QAnon baby, right? We know that that's the QAnon baby. Amazing. Important moment in time. This picture, the picture will be the signifier. Could that be the movie that we just saw, the documentary? Could it be the maps that they're showing of coronavirus? Could they be... The signifier will force the Q. The Q will be answered, and where we go, one we go all in echo. Now, echo, you can find that those echoes used to be, quote, what they call an anti-Semitic attack on people. And it used to be, anti-Semitic on Jewish people. You can see Rep. Nadler has his echoes on. But very interesting. So I did if you just do a Google search for triple parentheses, it does come up to something that's anti-Semitic. But do you think it's just bloodline family? All right. So why would I say force the Q? So let's go look. Let's look at the next picture here. New corona cases, the ultimate floating signifier. Interesting. New corona cases, the ultimate floating signifier. Here's quarantine and isolation, legal authorities for health orders. And I think I've put the same picture in twice. There it is. Can you be forced to quarantine or stay home?
No.
Right?
You're an American. You absolutely cannot be forced to be quarantined or stay at home. I would really like to share with you that the founding fathers of your country were not unaware of pandemics.
That's right.
They still put in your right to free speech and your right to free press and your right for a firearm. All of those things were in there considering the idea that there may be a pandemic. Freedom is not safety.
That's right. So I think
freedom is freedom.
Then you see the president going, holding the governors accountable. It's their decisions, the governors and the mayors. And they're forcing the Q.
Right. And who is going to hold the governors accountable now that he's exposed them?
We are.
We, the people. So now you're seeing in Pennsylvania and many other states around the country, even out here on the West Coast, there's people gathering at the Capitol buildings to say, guess what? We are done cooperating with this. If this was something major like it looked like you were presenting it to be, then yes, we would be obeying your rules. But the reality is you're talking about something that's not even as deadly as the common flu. And we're seeing tons and tons of information coming out now from doctors who are saying they're writing down the wrong reason for death on death certificates all over the country to make it look like there's more.
Yeah.
Now, whatever Susan or anyone else out there wanted to talk about, the WHO, did anyone elect the people at the WHO?
Nope.
None of those people are elected.
Nope.
None of them. So is the guy who runs at the head of the WHO, does anyone out there realize that this is the first time someone was head of the WHO who doesn't hold a medical degree of any sort?
Right.
Do you trust his opinion?
Nope.
Well, it seems like he's touting exactly what China says. Yes?
China.
China.
In fact, we got a new report out of Fox News saying that China, the spy game is up and they're trying to control the narrative.
And all of your
here in the U.S.
and all of your media seems to be just right in line with that, aren't they?
That's right.
I mean, they're jumping right on it. Oh, how could you call this? We're going to start calling this Trump virus. Remember that one?
Right. So these people, the satanic royal lineage, and I want to thank LK for messaging me that this is from SB2. The satanic royal lineages and support him from extra-dimensional militias imported through the Tower of Babel. The beast out of the sea would then manifest, turn all mankind to maritime law products, and defeat religions with legalism. Huh. Right?
Think about it.
Do you want maritime law or do you want law of the land?
I want common law.
Which is law of the land.
Sense
Yep.
law.
I want natural law and common law. Our God-given rights, folks. I don't want to be legalezed out of my God-given rights. I have the right to travel, but now I have to get a driver's license because they think I have licentious behavior.
Does everyone out there understand that legal and illegal is not the same as lawful and unlawful?
I don't think so.
What is legal? Is legal a policy? Who enforces legal policy? The police? The mayors? This is a subversion of your rights. All of it is. The idea that you have to go get a permit to fish, the idea that you have to get a permit to drive, the idea you have to have a permit to own a car or a permit to register your car or a birth certificate or a marriage certificate. All those are instruments that you already had the right to do, but instead you decided, oh, I'm not good enough. I'm not smart enough to manage my own affairs. Please, Mr. Government, would you give me the right to drive? Would you give me the right to travel to my workplace, please? Let's start twisting up the words and the names, and then let's say that we are trafficking in commerce to drive, huh? And it's called a vehicle, not a car.
Yeah.
Everything is in the words. Everything is in the nuance. It's all right in front of you if you can wake up to see it.
It's right in front of us. It's always been there. The truth is there.
I would like to suggest, if anyone hasn't, I know a lot of you probably have, but go back and read Thomas Paine's Common Sense. Go read it. And you'll understand a lot about your country if you haven't.
Yeah. That's
UCC,
right.
There's someone, Eve, UCC is unlawful. UCC was created right after the war to bring us under the same system, the worldwide central banking structure that we are currently fighting our butts off to get out from underneath, because I don't know that we'll ever get this type of momentum again towards heading back to a sound constitution and freedom, whereas You are a man, woman of God. You are not a citizen of United States of America. You're a person, not a citizen.
In all caps. We're actually shareholders of the United States of America.
That's correct. We are shareholders. Absolutely.
The United States for America. Now, so let's look at this. The Constitution, our founding fathers, the president's powers are create trade deals internationally. Is our president doing that?
Yes.
Folks, is our president creating trade deals that actually work for America?
Yeah, they benefit us, not just created trade deals that give away everything.
Hit 45 if you guys understand that. 45. Is our president doing that via the Constitution? Trade deals. Is our president protecting our borders? More 45s. Is our president funding and keeping our military?
Yes.
It's more 40. This is all constitutional powers, guys. This has nothing to do with any Asara or Jasara. This is all Constitution. Our Constitution provides these powers to our president. We've just been legalized out of it. Legalized.
And it isn't documents on paper that's done this.
It's already done.
It's you cooperating. It's you not understanding. It's you going through school, not learning what your Constitution really meant because they intentionally didn't tell you what it meant, and then you didn't go back and read it for yourself, and then you comply. Like, okay, so we're all in quarantine. Are you complying?
Right.
You see, you comply, and out of your consent gives them jurisdiction. If you did not consent, they do not have jurisdiction over you.
That's right. Now, what else is our president doing? If the federal government, the powers given to by the Constitution to our president, he is supposed to help intercontinental trade. And that's why the governors are saying, oh, he doesn't have that. He sure as hell does, folks. If you guys can't work it out, president can step in. Intercontinental
at any time for any issue. That's why we have him. That's why we elected him. That's why we put that position there. Was to overcome the swamp because they knew that all of these, the Congress and the Senate could easily be compromised. We had to have someone who theoretically has America's interest at heart at the helm. That's not been the case for the last few decades at all, but now we do. And it's changed. I mean, we're talking 3 years here, man. We're talking 3 years to unravel 150 years of BS.
Yeah.
Pretty incredible. But no, I still see lots of anons out there. Oh, I've not seen an arrest. Like, it's mind numbing. Like, what do you need to see? Do you want to? I mean, I can't express enough to you about what the president is doing. James Comey being arrested is interesting, yes, but does it have to do with getting the wealth of my country back and getting my country back to operate under a constitution? Not really.
Yeah.
Does it have to do with like illegal FISA warrants? Well, what's a FISA warrant? A FISA warrant is a secret court justified by terrorism to be spying on foreign nationals being used against the elected president of the United States 3 times, signed after he was elected. That working out for you?
It's not working out, I don't think, is it?
Not working out.
So they flipped the whole thing on us, man. And, think mirror, bottom to top, top to bottom. Right now, our Constitution should be God at the top, then you, then everything else. Right now, they've got everything else, Federal Reserve, bank, everything else, Constitution last, God, you last. You are at the bottom, folks. And we are flipping it.
Think mirror.
Bottom to top.
And that's how this all has to work.
That's right. We are now going to be God, you, then everything else, folks. And that's what's happening. And you can see these talking heads do not get it. They're so pissed that the president is actually signing the checks. Why is that, Shady?
Because it's actually coming from the Treasury.
Not the Federal Reserve, folks. Get it? Press 45 if you guys get it. I want to see that. You guys get this, right? We are taking the money from the cabal and putting it into the Treasury. You guys don't think anything's happening? I mean, we can just read the news, right? good job. Look at you guys. This is the most red-pilled audience in YouTube. Amazing. So now I wanted to see, POTUS keeps saying plague all the time, Shady, right? We are in this together, no fame. This is about taking back our freedom and saving our children, people from evil that has plagued our country, world for so long. Q. Has our president ever tweeted plague? Look at this.
September 30, 2014, United States must immediately institute strong travel restrictions or Ebola will be all over the U.S., a plague like no other. September 19th, 2014, why are we sending thousands of ill-trained soldiers into Ebola-infested areas of Africa? Bring the plague back to the U.S.? Obama is stupid. August 2nd, U.S. must immediately stop all flights from Ebola-infected countries or the plague will start and spread inside our borders. Act fast. August 1, 2014, at Big Bowie 7531, to all the liberal do-gooders, this is the plague, you idiots. No cure. You may have confidence in the CDC, but I don't. April 20, 2012, a bad manager such as Barack Obama will continually be plagued by scandals. So
leadership starts at the top.
Interesting, no?
Yeah.
And what did we just do yesterday? Yesterday, the president of the United States suspended all immigration to the United States. All, guys. All. That means no one is coming here. And did you notice the left-wing hullabaloo that ensued? Like, oh, he's racist immediately. Well, I can't go to the hardware store. I can't go to a restaurant. I can't go to a play or a theater and see anything. So why is it so unusual that we wouldn't necessarily be currently setting up and bringing immigrants to the United States? It seems to make 110% perfect sense to me.
Right.
But the media can't get it. They're just too darn stupid.
So I wanted to go through this a little bit too, Shady. This is a 2012 Olympic ceremony in Britain. Is this what they wanted to do to us? Look at the phoenix rising from the coronavirus. Did you guys witness this?
I remember it. Send that to you. It's got a couple other good pictures in it these guys can see. Let me go find that.
Yeah, it's probably in this article as well. The dead babies.
Sure those pictures were in that article. I kind of went and got some. Let's see here.
So basically what this does is the opening ceremony, it goes through green and pleasant land, right? And then it shows all the cricket players and the farmers, they're doing all that stuff. It's, the mythically spirally hill named Glastonbury Tor, and it looks over a pasture in England. This tor is topped by a giant oak tree, the tree considered by the Celtic Druids as a representative of supreme deity. So basically there it is. There's Glastonbury Tor. That's the real one. And then we keep going in. Then we've got the visionaries who comes in, and here they are. The Industrial Revolution. Here's your payseurs, agents of the Payseur Trust coming in, shaking hands. The elite group coordinated the Industrial Revolution, and you get you guys to work. Here you are. You guys are peasants of the country. You worked in hellish conditions to bring the reality to the elite's vision. Here it is, the unfolding pandemonium. It's depicting two very distinct groups, elite thinkers who decide to oversee the projects, and the workers. Right? All of this happening in the Olympic Stadium, guys. Here it is, the final product of the pandemonium is one big, messy, gray mass full of satanic mills and even phallic chimneys spitting out smoke. Leave the kids alone. Here's a child, reading Peter Pan. On one page, we see the scary Captain Hook. Right? A kid strapped to the bed, according to Franz Springmeier Monarch programming technique, Peter Pan programming, in which Captain Hook represents the handler. They show this to you. Here it is. This is the J.K. Rowling's Voldemort. This young girl's bed hovers high above the ground. Does this represent disassociation? Engineered intense trauma? You guys are ready for this now, aren't you? Or is it just me? Or does this giant baby have a big separation on the forehead? Look at the giant baby and all the cribs, guys. Here we go. The dancer takes from the young boy an imaginary ball which can represent the life force. Or maybe his soul. Here's your nation in flames. Kind of looks like a giant eye. Kind of turns into a coronavirus-looking thing. And here's your closing ceremony. They use blocks to build a pyramid and a stage. They lay down before the almighty pyramid. Then they have this, imagine there's no countries. Imagine there's no God. Here they are, under the cauldron, representing all countries joined together as one. The young children sing Imagine. Is that really a good song? Here's your coronavirus. Out of the fire, a phoenix appears above the cauldron.
But there's no way this was planned.
No.
No. Okay.
And then they sang, Rule the World. Praising the phoenix in a ritual and celebratory manner. I mean, so guys, that's just what I'm talking about. I'm going over to you now, Shady, here real quick.
The second one there in the chat will show a couple other images. A few of them were in there, but they're definitely good. I'm gonna drop this to you guys so you guys can share it.
You know, the baby one is crazy. Yep. It's funny. Here we go. Not funny.
There you click on, there you go. You'll see each image. Look at this. Nurses, cribs, and blue. Do you know that before they would sacrifice you in ancient world, they would paint you blue?
Oh God.
Big show here. This is really relevant to like sportsmanship and athletics, and the best team wins, and this is really all about just playing
There's your
summer
coronavirus
games, right?
as well, right there, Shady.
That look like a virus to you guys? Sure does look like one to me. Soros/Gates.
That looks like the lady, Brits. Look at her teeth.
Maybe a little bit.
But guys, it was right in front of you. This is what they wanted to do to us, folks. I think we boomeranged it. Now, when you're watching these satanic rituals on TV, your mind is receiving so much that you go into like this trance and don't really understand what you're watching. I mean, it's so fast. It's flashing.
It's subliminal.
People
It's
don't
also-
realize that the lady, what's her name? What's that chimney lady? What's her name again? They had that. Oh my gosh, Poppins. That umbrella represents Satan.
Oh, you're talking about
What show is this from, Chase and I-70? The 2012 Olympics.
this is the 2012 Olympic opening ceremony, guys. From London.
Yeah. And the
Mary
mind was
Poppins,
split.
there
You
it is.
see the split in the mind right there, Shady?
Yes.
Yeah, Mary
The
Poppins.
left and the right has to be kept separate. Balance between the left and the right brain makes a human very functional, but imbalance onto that regard can do quite the opposite.
But look what they did. They were celebrating. So, after all these babies died and everything, this is what they wanted to worship, folks. Right here. Right here. Right here.
Are you guys starting to understand why your ancestors got in leaky boats and headed out on the water for a land that they didn't know and a place that they didn't know they were going to make it to, hopefully to find something similar maybe they could call freedom?
Yeah.
What were they running from? What were they so irritated by that would cause them to do such a thing? Let's realize that it's the same thing we fight today, please.
And everybody right now is posting this video on Facebook, but I mean, do you realize it's not really a good song? He's telling you.
Imagine no borders. Imagine no creator. Imagine nothing. Imagine blah.
That's what you would get, guys.
Imagine no possessions because you're not allowed to own stuff.
Yes, so very interesting. If you ever want to understand symbolism today, I highly recommend Vigilant Citizen.
It's a very good resource and consistently over the target.
Yep. And here we go. This is the Together at Home. They raised money for the World Health Organization, guys. Together at Home was touted as a virtual concert organized by Lady Blah Blah, but it was much more than that. It was about countless celebrities repeating specific messages, promoting specific elite organizations. Here's a look at the true message of Together at Home. I think this is a good one to go through.
Am I the only one that sees a pistol right there with the logo?
Let's see. It was more than it was a show of force. It was a broadcast everywhere on all TV stations and all live streaming platforms. The fact alone was a strong indication of the sheer power behind this event.
A show of force.
Yeah.
Huh. We got to force the narrative, right?
Yeah. Furthermore, a list of celebrities and powerful people who appeared during the event was simply staggering, with headlines such as Lady Blah Blah, Billie Eilish, Taylor Swift, Celine Dion. However, this event was not only about music. The music was there to attract people. Between the performances were specific messages coming from powerful places. Because let's not kid ourselves over here. Lady Gaga was the face of the event. She's not the engine behind it all. Together at Home was a massive PR campaign from the World Health Organization, aka China.
Bill Gates.
And the entire elite system behind it. Lady Blah Blah was put in the forefront of this event because of her face, and her name alone will sell more than the face of the name of Tedros and Ghebreyesus, who is the general director of the NHL, who had that Shiva statue. Right? For the same reasons, countless celebrities were enlisted to say specific messages, because celebrities are the best vehicles. They thought you'd follow the stars to transmit messages from elite to the masses. The logo itself sums up the message of the event. The hands of those in power keep people inside their house. At the top of the words, one world, a call for global government.
Those you fight reside here.
Right. Teaching children through screens was not portrayed as an emergency last resort measure. Together at Home is defined as a new kind of education. Oh. Abby Kadabi from Sesame Street spoke to the children. The puppet said, "A lot of us are having some big feelings right now. I know I am. And that's okay, because we're all in this together. When I get a big feeling, I can just give myself a big hug, a self-hug." Then Abby Kadabi showed children how to give themselves a self-hug by putting their arms around themselves. This is not comforting. This is an Orwellian system teaching children to live without human contact. The musical performances were all about normalization of life and isolation, to prove the point that anything can be achieved through video. Some performances combined together several webcam feeds, and the results were terrible. In one performance, Maluma was outside singing while the guitarist was in a basement somewhere else. Just interesting, Shady, right?
Boy, it sure is interesting how hard they're trying to drive this narrative, and we just had the president defund them.
Yeah.
And so now they're having to, raise some funds, and it's interesting too that they're out there raising some funds, but no people are getting any money.
That's right.
They're holding up Congress and holding up moving forward on this next stocking the coffers for the small businesses, but Nancy Pelosi decides to go on TV and show off that she's got 75 different types of ice cream in her freezer.
Yep.
Not to mention the fact that it's like a $30,000 a piece cabinet freezer that she's got there.
So the main message of this Together at Home was put to the center stage powerful elite organizations that work at an international level beyond national borders, such as the WHO and the UN. And they're telling people, we're taking charge of this situation.
Who trusts the UN?
Not me.
I don't trust them. And how many, and it's really interesting too, how many people I've talked to in the last 2 weeks, man, who do not know that the WHO and the WTO are UN organizations.
Yep.
I mean, I just thought this was like, I mean, it's been more than 5 times. People don't understand this. Like, no, like, look how, just like you don't understand that the Federal Reserve isn't federal, you don't understand that these aren't their own entities. And the idea that all of this stuff was going to come down to a point where we have to subject ourselves in front of the Hague as American businesses or people is absurd.
I mean, the WHO actually lobbied against travel bans from China. There's the headline, February 3rd.
Remember
they wanted them to come here, folks, and where did they all go? They went to Italy, and look at Italy right now, Shady.
Well, how come no one in the media is talking about the idea that China banned all travel within China from Wuhan? All ground travel was banned, but they were still flying out hundreds of thousands of people a day to the rest of the world. Why can we not point at that and make some sort of logical distinction as opposed to saying that the president is a racist? Not to mention, look at what else happened. Remember, he said the NSC, all of the members of the NSC, the National Security Council, where blah, 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 blah impeachment came from, every single one of them told him not to shut down travel to China. All of them, 100%. Again, 100% agree. All the intelligence agencies agree. All of these agree. They all agree. All the celebrities agree. There's so much agreeing going on. It should be mind-numbingly pathetic for most people if you could just slow down and look.
Well, I almost thought Wuhan was almost WHO and UN, but it's WUHAN. You know what I'm saying? Like you could put Wuhan and get WHO and UN in it. You know what I'm saying? The word.
You can.
Just one letter off, guys. But these guys are criminal. So they got rid of this. We're no longer giving them money. So Bill and Melinda Gates of Hell Foundation is their second largest donor. And now you guys, whoever supported and gave money, not you guys, but whoever supported money to this, gave $127 million to these folks. And I think maybe half of that went to them from this organization.
And also, we're seeing mainstream.
Gates made it on there too. Look at, here we go. Bill and Melinda. Look at that.
Yeah. Well, look at the mainstream articles.
Look at Bill and look at the wife.
He is a he. I mean, he is a she. Wait, which? Oh, never mind.
It just looks weird. I'm sorry. There's David Ho. Ho said, I have no doubt science will come through, but our work will take time. Please buy us that time. The world must act now. Let's stay at home, flatten the curve together, and give the scientists time to develop solutions to this pandemic. But what about the vaccine? In other words, no freedom without a vaccine, guys. Do you understand?
We had the Federal Reserve head from St. Louis Charter last week saying that there would be no regular economy until everyone had a vaccine certificate.
Yeah. And this guy here threatened our president. Remember that, Shady, too? The WHO guy? Who?
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, at what point are you going to keep just taking the shots? I mean, there's a lot of information out there that points to, what's going on with these flu shots.
Here, look at these two.
Both of them making an appearance. And again, they agree.
Yep. And Mike, they're laying the groundwork for him to be vice president.
Mike in charge?
Yep. Hashtag no thanks, Mike.
Oprah agrees.
Oprah agrees. She aligned with the John of God cult.
You mean those ones in South America that you don't mean the ones in South America that were trafficking children, right?
Nope. Yep. That's actually yes.
I'm trying to get used to how to backhandedly present information to you guys.
That's right. There's an ad promoting Cisco Systems and its support for WHO. So Cisco Systems, God, is committed to providing oil, tech, sex, children.
And also, did anyone catch that the whole thing going on with Facebook and Facebook eliminating any talk about the WHO or the virus? The lady who's in charge of doing that is a Chinese virologist.
Here's Pepsi that actually has weird things in their products, and here's all their products.
Yeah, weird things will be an understatement.
Uh-huh.
Think cannibal.
I don't want to see it here because, we'll get demonetized. Oh, wait, we already are. These are Johnson & Johnson scientists. Johnson & Johnson owns a long list of pharmaceutical and consumer brands, including Band-Aid, Tylenol, Johnson's Baby Products, Neutrogena, Clean, Clear, AccuView. That's currently developing a vaccine. Thank you, Rockefeller Foundation, for supporting the WHO Solidarity Response Fund.
Does everybody out here understand that the Rockefeller Foundation was the cornerstone of starting the AMA?
And here you go. You got the Three Stooges here. You got Jimmy Kimmel. What's the guy in the middle? Colbert, and then Fallon. Let's look at the Rockefeller memoirs. For more than a century, ideological extremists at either end of the political spectrum have seized upon well-publicized incidents such as my encounter with Castro to attack the Rockefeller family for the order and influence they claim we wield over American political and economic institutions. Gosh, I'm sorry. Some even believe that we are part of a secret cabal working against the best interest of the United States, characterizing my family as internationalists, and of conspiring with others around the world to build a more integrated global political and economic structure. One world, if you will. If that is the charge, I stand guilty, and I am proud of it. David Rockefeller memoir. You guys...
AMA, CDC, WHO, WTO, all the same thing.
Yeah. Are you awake? I know you guys are awake. Press 17 if you're awake.
It's early here, but I'm awake.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. That's not what you meant.
In one skit, Jimmy Kimmel thanked Apple for its generous donations to the WHO. They also thanked Apple for babysitting his children for past month. Steve Jobs wouldn't even allow his kids to have an iPad.
Oh, I know. A lot of them don't allow their kids to access the internet. And from my understanding, Bill Gates doesn't allow his kids to get vaccinations.
Yeah.
Oh.
Fallon later thanked Bloomberg Philanthropies and Mike Bloomberg, the elite billionaire who owns the mega conglomerate. In short, this entire thing was a shameless infomercial for the global elite.
We sum up. China asshole.
Yeah. So guys, I mean, this is the conclusion. They want you to be vaccinated when there's a cure. But we're not going to say anything more about that because, we could get this video taken down because of YouTube. Because apparently they just make the rules up as they go so they can take us down.
Whatever it is to stifle.
Oh, look. Yeah. Oh, yeah. He is Out of Shadows. And by the way, because of this Out of Shadows, that was deleted. Microsoft releases and deletes the ad with occultist Marina Abramovich.
Well, now she's out there saying that you guys are attacking her and that she is not a cultist or a Satanist by no means. She's just an artist, Matrixxx. It's just art to bathe in blood.
We don't buy that crap anymore.
It's just art to put people on tables and pretend you're eating them. That's just art.
It's art, Shady.
Yeah, it's just art. Think mirror.
So let's go to the video that everybody's clamoring about. Let's go watch the open mic. Hot mic. Here we go.
Here we go.
You can take out the mask, Doug. The case fatality rate.
Take off the mask.
Is it really? That's reassuring. USC. Everybody here's been vaccinated anyway. USC and LA County Public Health came out with a study. They found that there are 7,000 cases in California, but they really believe that there are anywhere from 221,000 to 442,000 people who were infected. Really? Yeah.
So that makes it 0.1, 2, 0.3. Does a study to get out of it?
Yeah, just give it to them. So it suggests that the case fatality risk is 10. Wow. Which puts you right in line with the flu.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's what it is.
So it was a hoax. I don't think it was a hoax.
All right.
There you go.
So it was a hoax. So I would like to poll the audience here real quick. I would like for you guys to give me a yes if you know someone who is sick or has been sick in the last 30 days. How many people out here know someone or has been sick in the last 30 days? Because I'm not seeing any of it.
I know somebody who knows somebody, but
there was a poll done yesterday that said it was saying 80% of Americans have no knowing. So some people do know some people sick.
Yeah.
I don't.
Huh.
That's a lot larger than I thought I was going to see.
Yep. Very interesting. So, let's see. Let's remind you guys tomorrow about this.
Hey everybody, this is David Rodriguez. I'm going to be on the Matrixxx Grooove Show, 1 p.m. Eastern Time on Wednesday, April 22nd. Going to discuss the video that went viral and all the backlash and positive feedback I've gotten from it. Thank you. See you there.
Tune in tomorrow, 1 p.m. East with David Nino Rodriguez. And check out that thread. If you don't know, he had that viral video. By the way, Shady, this just in. Senate Intelligence Committee affirms that intelligence community's conclusion that Russia did act to aid Trump in 2016.
Really?
Yeah, let's look at all the proof.
Oh, let's read it.
Let's read it, guys. This should just blow the lid off of it. Okay,
Wow,
so let's
it's about
see where the
time
proof
for
is.
evidence.
We got, okay, so here it is. Here it is. Ready? You guys ready for the proof and the truth? Wait. Okay.
But
all right. This is good. This is just the appendix. Wait. Okay. Here's the findings.
But where's the?
Here we go. Let's keep going.
But it's not.
Oh, is this here? Oh, there's the no.
Where's the damn information?
Here it is. Wait, I got it here. No, wait.
Oh.
Here's the proof, guys.
But it's.
We got it proven.
Wow.
Wow. So they did. Look at right here. It says redacted. Oh wait.
I see.
Here's right here.
Sauce.
Wait. This is proof, guys. This is proof. Can you see the proof? Can you see it all? Look at all this proof.
Are you awake?
Look at these points. 1, 2. Look at those points. You can't dispute this, guys. You cannot dispute this. Look at that right there. There's the proof. So they're right.
They put it all right in front of us. Man, I tell you, this is really, really easy to disseminate and understand. I mean, it's very quick to go through.
Look at the next page is also very telling.
I think this tells you everything you need to know, Anons.
This tells you everything you know. Just write a headline. I could write a headline saying, well, it looks like they didn't, and show you the proof here. You see how fake news is, guys? Look at this.
It's so proofful.
Redactions.
Evidence.
Evidence. So thank you, Kyle Cheney, for showing us all that.
Where's his Pulitzer?
There's his proof right there. Here's some more. Let me I just got a couple pages because
you got to get this guy a Pulitzer.
Yeah, he's a Pulitzer. Get him a howitzer. So guys, that's your proof. You know, here's the MSM ramping up that Michelle Obama narrative for vice president. You know, no thank you, Mike hashtag. These people are sick. Mike. Here's another one that I did. We're gonna get you a bunch of videos. You asked for it.
What's up, Danny? All right, man. What do you know, Dave? You can take out the mask, Doug. The case fatality rate's like 0.1 to 0.3 according to USC. Is it really? That's reassuring. USC. Everybody here's been vaccinated anyway. USC and LA County Public Health come out with a study. They found that there are 7,000 cases in California, but they really believe that there are anywhere from 221,000 to 442,000 people who were infected. Really? Yeah.
So that makes it 0.1 to 0.3? There's a study to come out with it?
Yeah, just give it to them. So it suggests that the case fatality rate is 10. Seems. Wow. Puts you right in line with the flu.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it is.
So it was a hoax. I don't think it was a hoax.
that, guys, huh? Pretty interesting. Also, I don't really want you to do this. I did do it, guys.
So did I, and it's not necessary. But it's not good.
It's illegal in the U.S., so don't do it, please. If you do a Google search on TV, television, film, please do not do it. I do not recommend you to do this. But here is a good thing. Ask this man with children of his own, why? Why is he allowing those images on his search engine when he can block everything else, Shady?
Well, you sure can block anything that you want. You sure can block Patriots, and you sure can demonetize and attack and insert violence against people, but you can allow this to just slide?
Yeah. I also want to cover the Punisher pin too, Shady. We should do that real quick one more time. I think you tweeted about it over here.
Yeah, that was hilarious.
That was amazing, right? Oh, wait, let's watch this. This. We got, okay. Oh, here we go. This is a good one.
Ready to go?
Ready to go.
This is a crisis.
This is no time for Donald Trump's record of hysterical xenophobia.
Biden's son inked a $1 billion deal with a subsidiary of the Bank of China.
China is going to eat our lunch? Come on, man. They're not bad folks.
Since the outbreak, the Communist Party has been mobilizing overseas organizations to buy local supplies and send them to China.
It is in our self-interest
China
that China continue to prosper. What a beautiful history we wrote together. Banning all travel will not stop it.
The president is right. The travel restriction on China, as every public health official we've talked to said, bought the country time.
That was a very smart move right there.
Hysterical xenophobia. Xenophobia. I complimented him on dealing with China. I'm not going nuts.
No. Now let's watch this one here, Shady. This one is a riot. Here we go.
Oh, not another commercial. The kid used to come up and reach in the pool and rub my leg down so it was trained, and then watch the hair come back up again. They look at it. So I learned about roaches. I learned about kids jumping on my lap. And I love kids jumping on my lap.
What?
Back up again.
I love that, guys.
Your president tweeted that, can I say?
And pinned it for a while as well.
OMG.
Yeah. Here he is, the Federalist Papers, right there, guys.
Yeah, that's the one. That's the one article that I was talking about that we might need to skim in just a little bit. For all those that don't think anything's happening, I mean, I'm willing to read a little bit of this if you want.
Absolutely, let's do it.
All right. This just put out yesterday by the Federalist and talking about crossfire hurricanes. For all the folks out there who don't think anything is going on, I would like to give you this summation of what's going on. Late last week, Senator Lindsey Graham announced a webpage dedicated to the Senate Judiciary Committee's probe into the Crossfire Hurricane illicit investigation into the Donald Trump campaign. Graham's staff uploaded the four-page FISA, the four Carter-page Foreign Intelligence Service Act applications, which were recently further declassed. These declassifications reveal more devastating details in Spygate saga, and here are 7 new revelations.
By the way, did you hear the word declass, guys?
Yes.
Okay.
There's declass happening here, guys. The FBI always intended to spy on the Trump campaign. When news first broke that the Obama administration had obtained a FISA order to surveil Page, Democrats and the left-leaning press argued the FBI's surveillance of the former Trump foreign policy advisor didn't constitute spying on the Trump campaign because the court-ordered surveillance didn't begin until after Page had left the campaign. Conservatives tried to correct the record, noting that a Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act, FISA, order gave the government access to Page's past emails and other electronic communications with members of the Trump campaign, but the mainstream media ignored this reality. Inspector General Horowitz's report on FISA abuse later confirmed that, yes, the FBI gathered substantial evidence of Page's past electronic communications, including the multiple emails between Page and members of the Donald Trump for President campaign concerning campaign-related matters. The recent declass of FISA applications now expose a further reality. The FBI didn't just seek access to past electronic communications with campaign members. The FBI believed Page would continue to communicate with the Trump campaign and sought the FISA court order to intercept those conversations. While Page had announced he was taking a leave of absence from his work with the campaign, the FISA application read, because Page was one of the first identified foreign policy advisors for Trump's campaign, the FBI believes that Page literally or likely established close relationship with other members of the campaign. Accordingly, the FBI maintained its initial FISA app that is believed that Page likely established close relationships with other members of the campaign and likely would have continued to have access to members which he could exploit to attempt to exert influence in foreign policy matters regardless of whatever formal role he played in the campaign. So they weren't going after past, they were going after future. 2, FBI failed to brief Trump about its Page suspicions. The newly declassed information highlights another huge impropriety at the FBI's handling of Crossfire Hurricane. The FBI failed to provide the Trump campaign a defensive briefing about Page. Here it is helpful to remember what Counterintelligence Division Director Priestep told the IG about why he opened the Crossfire Hurricane investigation instead of providing the Trump campaign a defensive briefing. We provide defensive briefings when we obtain information indicating a foreign adversary is trying or will try to influence a specific U.S. person. When there's no indication that the specific U.S. person could be working with the adversary in regard to the information the friendly foreign government provided us, we had no indication as to which person in the Trump campaign allegedly received the offer from the Russians. There was no specific U.S. person identified. We also had no indication whatsoever that the person affiliated with the Trump campaign had rejected the alleged offer from the Russians. In fact, the information we received indicated that Papadopoulos told FFG he felt confident Mr. Trump would win the election and commented that the Clintons had a lot of baggage and that the Trump team had plenty of material to use in the campaign. While Papadopoulos didn't say where the Trump team had received the material, one could reasonably infer that some of the material might have come from the Russians. Had we provided a defensive briefing to someone on the Trump campaign, we would have alerted the campaign to what we were looking into. And if someone on the campaign was engaged with the Russians, he or she would be very likely change his or her tactics and or otherwise seek to cover up his or her activities, thereby preventing us from finding the truth. On the other hand, if no one in the Trump campaign was working with the Russians, an investigation could prove that. Now, that's what they think their cover is. That's totally what they think their cover is for all this. Oh, we're too stupid.
But wait, Shady, didn't the intelligence agency just the one by Clapper and Brennan and the criminals just say that it did in fact?
Yes. I mean, you can't make it up, man.
Right.
Andrew McCabe, President Obama's former deputy director of the FBI, likewise told IG that he did not consider a defensive briefing as an alternative to opening a counterintelligence case because based on friendly foreign government information, the FBI did not know if any member of the campaign was coordinating with Russia, and the FBI did not brief people who could potentially be subjects that are you're investigating. They can't brief the president of the United States that there might be someone in the campaign acting out of his best interest. How is that American? Like, look at that. You're telling me that's your that is mind-boggling to see that printed.
Yeah.
I know it's true. We've watched it be true, but it is mind-boggling for the average person who, how many attorneys do we have in America? How many people do we have that participate in the system that know on its face that this is horsey poo and that these people are lying through their teeth? But no, they say it with a straight face to you. So McCabe added that in sensitive counterintelligence matter, it was essential to have a better understanding of what was occurring before taking an overt step such as providing a defensive briefing. There are plenty of problems with Priestep and McCabe's rationale, as well as the entire predicate for Crossfire Hurricane, but let's take them on their word and apply the same reasoning to Page. More than 3 months had passed since the FBI received word from a friendly foreign government that former Trump advisor Papadopoulos had learned that Russia had dirt on Hillary. Since the FBI believed it had discovered the identity of the man engaging with the Russians, Page. Remember, Carter Page was an FBI informant before he became a Russian asset. Just remember that, literally overnight. So convinced, and remember, plants need water as well. So convinced was the FBI that they had their man, the agent swore out 4 FISA applications attesting the FBI believes the Russian effort to influence U.S. policy were likely being coordinated between the Russian intelligence service and Page, possible others. The FBI further swore to the court that Page was identified by source reporting as to intermediary with Russian leadership, as well as developed conspiracy of cooperation to influence the 2016 presidential election. So why did the FBI provide the Trump campaign a defensive briefing about Page? Why didn't the FBI warn Trump that it had evidence that Page was acting as an agent for Russia and that the campaign should be aware of that fact in communication with Page? 3, FBI spied on the Trump administration. Failed to provide the Trump administration a defensive briefing concerning its belief that Russia sought to use Page's connections with the administration officials to influence American foreign policies instead, as the newly declassified information reveals following Trump's inauguration. The FBI sought to and apparently succeeded in intercepting communications between Page and the members of the Trump administration. In each renewal application, the FBI stated that although the election has concluded, the FBI believes the Russian government will continue attempting to use U.S.-based individuals such as Page to covertly influence U.S. foreign policy. Then, after noting that although Page no longer appears to be an advisor to the now president-elect and later to the now president, the FISA application included several blacked-out sentences identified as FISA-acquired information. The language and placement of these redactions suggest the FISA surveillance captured communications between Page and members of the Trump transition team and administrations. In other words, they were getting the information in real time, including, 44. Significantly, both April 7th, 2017 and June 28th of 17, FISA renewal apps, after redacting FISA acquired information, noted that the FBI assesses that Page continues to have access to senior U.S. government officials, and moreover, the FBI further assesses that Page is attempting to downplay his contacts with the Russian government. Remember, his contacts with the Russian government were set up by the FBI to spy on Russia and to dispel the controversy surrounding him so as to make him more viable as a foreign policy expert who will be in a position, due to his continued contacts with senior U.S. government officials, to influence U.S. foreign policy toward Russia. These assertions raise significant questions and concerns. Who were these senior U.S. government officials? Did the FBI intercept Page's communications with Trump administration officials? And why would the FBI not provide President Trump a defensive briefing about Page's supposed role as a Russian agent? 4, Adam Schiff is a rotten, no good, two-faced dog pony soldier. Two-faced liar. Latest declassification. I may have got off the rail there. The latest declassifications also exposed yet again that Schiff lied about everything in his response memo to Nunes' memo on FISA abuse. The lawyer who tweets anonymously as Undercover Hubert detailed evidence in a must-read thread on Friday. But the DOJ cited multiple sources to support the case for surveilling Page, but made only narrow use of information from Steele's sources about Page's specific activities in 2016, chiefly a suspected July 2016 meeting in Moscow with Russian officials, Schiff had claimed. Now, this is on the record, Schiff's account and Nunes's account of the information that was revealed, both very different. Now we're starting to see this come to light, and people are understanding that Adam Schiff was lying to you. He was taking information from the Intel Committee and twisting it and lying to you, and Nunes was presenting the information as he was seeing it. Not so, as Undercover Hubert detailed, rather than FISA applications stated that Carter Page had been identified by source reporting as an intermediary with Russian leadership, has a well-developed conspiracy of cooperation to influence the 2016 election, and that language was lifted directly from the Steele dossier. Schiff knew this. He also knew with dueling memorandums, the press would 100% back the Democrat and put Nunes' memorandum on FISA abuse down to politics. Schiff was right. He just didn't expect Trump to survive long enough for proof of his duplicity to come out. Luckily for Schiff, the press backs lying Democrats at the same rate. Number 5, the FBI relied solely on fake news to support portions of the FISA application. The additional FISA application declass reveal another discouraging fact that the FBI relied completely on media reports that ended up being inaccurate to assess that following Page's meetings in Russia, Page helped influence the Republican Party and Trump's campaign to offer their platforms to be more sympathetic to Russia. In the FISA apps, the FBI supported this assessment with summaries of the reporting by two identified news organizations. One, a July 2016 article. Second, an August 2016 article. On the FISA apps did not identify the articles. One was apparently Josh Rogan's Washington Post opinion, which reported claims that Trump campaign members worked behind the scenes to make sure the GOP's platform would not call for giving weapons to Ukraine to fight Russian and rebel forces. What happened? Second article was likely Crowley's Politico piece that opined that while the reason for Trump's shift in the Russia politics is not clear, Trump's more conciliatory words, which contradict the GOP's official platform, follow Trump's recent association with several people sympathetic to Russian influence in Ukraine, including foreign policy advisor Carter Page. With the additional D-class, we now know that these news reports were the only evidence. Now, look at this. This was all the evidence cited to get FISA warrants. Wrap-up smear. Remember what Pelosi says. You write it in the paper, and then you go and you get and you report on it. Well, then they go to get it out of the paper, and they get FISA applications on American citizens to surveil you. Wow. Nothing happening. Number 6, special counsel pushed pathetic intel. Yep. Let's do it.
I am in the Matrixxx. Let me find the wrap. It's actually on this channel as well. In the Matrixxx wrap-up smear with 0 facts.
She admitted exactly what it is they do.
Yes. Let me just find out. And they use it everywhere. They need a new playbook, guys. By the way, my video made it on Snopes too, by the way. Here we go.
The wrap-up smear one?
Yep.
Nice.
There it is.
Buffering.
Oops. This might not be the one. It's down here a little bit. Here it is.
What is a wrap-up smear?
Let's see, Nancy. Whoops. Oh my gosh, I tell you. Here we go.
You demonize. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. You demonize, and then we call it the wrap-up smear. If you want to talk politics, you call it the wrap-up smear. You smear somebody with falsehoods and all the rest, and then you merchandise it. And then you write it, and they'll say, see, it's reported in the press that this, and this. So they have that validation that the press reported the smear, and then it's called the wrap-up smear. Now I'm going to merchandise the press's report on the smear that we made.
Isn't that funny? So that's my video on Snopes.
And what does Snopes say about the video?
False.
Oh, it's false. So the lady standing there saying it isn't saying it.
Yeah, no.
Oh.
It's all false.
So
it's miscaptioned. Shady, it's miscaptioned. Oh,
Roger that.
All right, back to this.
Jiminy Christmas. Number 6, special counsel pushed pathetic intel as well. In May of 2017, the Mueller assumed leadership of the Russia collusion investigation, but nothing changed. The FBI continued to push nonsense to the FISA court. However, instead of presenting media reports as proof, the special counsel's team pushed rumors. Specifically, as the newly declassed FISA app dated June 28, 2017 revealed. Remember, this is 6 months after the president is in office. Reveals the FBI informed the FISA court that it believes it has obtained additional information consistent with the above described reporting from sub-source that Page met with Second while Page was in Moscow in July of 2016. The FBI then noted that in July of 2017, agents had interviewed an individual whose name remains redacted. That individual told the FBI that he recalled an instance where Page was picked up in a chauffeured car and that it was rumored at the time that Page had met with Igor Sikin. Yes, that's right. Rumor. And then number 7, old sweet irony. Final takeaway from the newly declassed portion of the FISA app reveals just how tone deaf and oblivious. Now, right here, this is why I get irritated with reporting. how tone deaf and oblivious the FBI agents involved in Crossfire Hurricane were. Now, here again, we have stupidity being chalked up to tone deaf and oblivious. Stupidity.
Knowingly.
Do you really think someone is smart enough to become the head of the FBI or smart enough to be a elected official and they're consistently tone deaf and oblivious? It's staggering, the numbers out there. You know, we got however many people we got here in the chat. Most of you guys are not tone deaf and oblivious, but these people just always are. They can't figure out what's the truth is. In the final application, the FBI.
I might be tone deaf though, Shady. I'm not a very good singer.
You're in the Matrixxx. You're not tone deaf.
Okay, gotcha.
In the final application, the FBI notes that Page continues to be active in meetings with media outlets to refute claims of his involvement with the Russian government efforts to influence the 2016 presidential election. Blah, blah, blah. This approach is important. The FBI persists because from the Russian government's point of view, it continues to keep the controversy of the election in front of the American and the world media, which has the effect of undermining the integrity of the U.S. electoral process and weakening the effectiveness of the U.S. administration. Now, reread that. This approach is important. The FBI persists because from the Russian government's point of view, from their point of view, it continues to keep the controversy of the election in front of the American media. So in other words, the truth in front of the American media is bad for us, which has the effect of undermining the integrity of the U.S. electoral process. We're not going to get our cronies into office if you keep paying attention to this, and weakening the effectiveness of the current U.S. administration. Boom. As the kids would say, I can't even. Now, this is a great article. I wanted to read all of that. The president tweeted that yesterday. And also yesterday, Matrixxx, I know that we didn't get to it yet, but before we forget, I would like to play what he said about General Flynn yesterday.
Yeah, I've got that.
That was
somewhere.
huge. And I would like for the audience to see that in connection with what we just read about how dopey, stiffy, dumpy, and blah, blah over there at the FBI, you know, sleep at the wheel.
Do you have it? Let me see.
They're just marauding through their, I could probably grab it here. They're marauding through their life, right? They can't get anything right. They're just, we're just moving through.
I think I have it. I'm just trying to see. I think, let me just grab this here.
I thought I retweeted it from Carly. I'm trying to find it here
because I did it too.
But we're tweeting what?
We all tweet. Tweet. Where was it? Maybe it was Carly. I can't remember. Did I get up? I might have done it too because it was amazing.
Oh.
Sorry for the scroll, guys. Why are you looking at Shady? Why don't you look for that? And there was a shout out to the Q Army, the digital soldiers, and brilliant Anons. Let's go ahead and take a watch.
We assembled an army of young, brilliant people.
I might be 52.
A couple of older ones. But for the most part, they were young, brilliant geniuses that did a job like nobody would believe. I wish you could have seen it. Round the clock. And now the rest of the world's coming to us asking if we could help them with ventilators because they're very complicated, very expensive.
Guys, that was a shout out to you. I thought that was pretty amazing.
I think I got it here.
Okay.
Coming in 3,
2, 1.
Hopefully that's the right one.
Let's see. Carluska.
Or maybe that might not be. Actually, that's listening in on his calls. Where is it? Darn it.
Did she do a thread?
Yeah, I don't. George Washington moment. Why is that not up here? I'm so sorry. I thought we had that.
I mean, he went hard on Flynn. I texted it to Joe. Hang on, let me see. Let me find it in my text, guys. Hold up 1 second.
I definitely don't want to get out of here before we play this for them today.
Yeah, because this is amazing. Let me see. Joe Flynn. Real Donald Trump. Here we go. Ooh.
Playing from Jeffrey's iPhone.
Oh my gosh.
Uh-oh.
Copy link to tweet. Mine's got 75,000 views. Holy moly. All right, let's drop this in so I can grab it from Zoom here. All right. Here we go. I've got it right here somewhere. Let me grab where I put it. Okay, here we go. Oops, that's in the way. Sorry, guys. Hi, dead air. Here we go.
Can you talk any more about pardoning Paul Manafort or Roger Stone so they're not exposed to coronavirus in jail?
Well, I just tell you this. Roger Stone was treated very unfairly. Paul Manafort, the Black Book, turned out to be a fraud. We learned that out during the various last number of weeks and months. They had a Black Book that came out of Ukraine, turned out to be a fraud. Turned out to be a fraud. They convicted a man, turned out to be a fraud. General Flynn was a highly respected person, and it turned out to be a scam on him. The FBI said he didn't lie. And Mueller's people wanted him to go to jail. Okay? So what am I going to do? You'll find out what I'm going to do. I'm not going to say what I'm going to do, but I will tell you the whole thing turned out to be a scam, and it turned out to be a disgrace to our country, and it was a takedown of a duly elected president, and these people suffered greatly. General Flynn, I mean, what they did to him, and even the FBI said, and they had some, and nobody bigger fan of the FBI than me at the level of the people that really matter. But the top of the FBI was scum. And what they did to General Flynn, and you know it, and everybody knows it, was a disgrace. He was in the service for over 30 years. He ends up being a general and respected. Respected. And almost his first day in office, they come in with papers. They want to investigate him. Never happened before, and now the tables are turned. Investigate the investigators, I guess.
Boom.
These were crooked people. These are bad people. These are very dangerous people. You know what they are, though? They're scum. They're human scum. All right, do you want to have one?
Scum, Shady. Boom. And let's take a look at the Punisher. Here we go.
Flag, which of course is beautiful.
Oh, that's the FBI pin. This
Yeah.
is the CIA pin for the good people, the 99%.
Yeah.
Yeah, people, by the way, so Spider-Man 1974 edition, 129 of the Amazing Spider-Man Marvel Comics, that's the Punisher. People will have all these conspiracy theories. It's the Punisher. It's a Netflix series and it was a movie. I just liked it.
Can you send me a pin
It's
that
what
everyone will talk about, please? I need some kind of
I'm reading
pin.
all this stuff. I'm like, no, it's not a secret signal to people.
Do you have a secret society you want to fess up to right now, Hannity? There's some like super secret decoder ring that you. Is there an odd?
As if I don't take enough crap from the
is
New
there
York Times and company.
When you show up with other pieces of jewelry, we'll just keep this going. We got to keep it going.
I don't wear jewelry. I have broken fingers from my, punching
oh God,
and
are we
kicking
going to
and
go through
elbows.
that again? The true
Headbutt.
Punisher, the true Punisher is Hannity. If you go after him from the New York Times,
watch the Netflix
the true
series. It's amazing.
Punisher. All right, Hannity,
It's
great
Marvel.
job.
So then you got your decoder ring, Shady?
I got my decoder ring.
Let me see. What Q post was that, Shady?
129.
Here we go. I think I got that right. Cheers. Here we go.
Closing act. Dismantled. Impossible to clean. Operations to no such agency. Q. November 9, 2017. Note that this is post 129, which would have been the next post after the 128 post of the initial graphic.
Boom.
And he had a CIA pin on.
Yep. There you go.
And I understand the conversation, but I would implore everyone out there to look a little deeper. This is not. I get what you're saying. Oh, they're making fun of us.
Are they? Wait a second. Let's remind everybody that Laura is an anon.
Laura's farce comment.
Yes. Are they making fun of us, or are they leading us to Q post 129? Because remember, Laura says farce 21 minutes after an anon on the board posted, I'm on in 20, we'll say farce.
And so notice that she threw the little hint. She was able to say secret society
and decoder
on
ring.
TV. Right, and decoder ring, both right together. Don't take the message as what's said. Look for meaning in the words. Remember, everything that is spoken has multiple meanings. Look at the meaning and the intent and see if it's bigger than maybe what you initially thought.
Shady, let's give a boom. You ready? 1, 2, 3, boom. Shakalaka. There you go, guys. That's you know what? JT Wild is on fire, guys.
Oh, I know this.
I don't know if he's been doing a lot lately. And let me go to our one server and get where's our Q Music server? I dropped it in there. Hang on one second. There it is. Our Q Music server. We got that over there. That's all we use it for is Q Music. And let's go together. We can save the world. JT Wild.
We must admit that society as a whole is divided, yet there is a common thread that unites each and every one of us.
Together we are strong, together we are faithful, united in our song, America is grateful.
What is more important to us, the dharma of society or the relationship between human souls? You know the answer, you always have. It has just been hidden from our daily lives by the things we see on our television and the media.
Together we are strong, together we are faithful, united in our song, America is grateful. Together we are strong, together we are faithful, united in our song, America is grateful.
90% of all forms of mainstream media is creating soap operas of our lives designed to keep us feeling alone. That is their ultimate goal, to make you feel absolutely alone. That is where they want you. You can be controlled if you feel alone. You will consume anything to make it go away. We shop, drink, drug, and eat to stop the pain from being alone. You see, it is a game to them, and there is no winning for you, only for them. But your life is not a game. You are not alone. Understanding and acceptance you spread with your fellow man and woman will return to you. The differences we all have are only a temporary distortion of the true nature of our souls.
Together we are strong, together we are faithful, united in our song, America is grateful. Together we are strong, together we are faithful, united in our song, America is grateful.
When you are awake, you will no longer allow their programming to affect your relationships. You will see through the media matrix and wake up to a whole new world of possibilities, where you control the system. That is what they're afraid of. And that is what the world needs now more than ever. You and us together. There is only one way to save the world. We must be together. Because where we go one, we go all.
Together we are strong, together we are faithful, united in our song, America is grateful.
Beautiful.
Wow, JT Wild, thank you very much for that. Very, very, very amazing voice. You really did good, JT. I love that song. That's why I wanted to share it here with everybody. Get that YouTube link. It's only got 220 views. Come on, guys. It's got 222 views.
Get that up there. Come on now.
Yeah, let's get that up there. Guys, this has been the Matrixxx Groove Hour. Tomorrow, we have got a very special guest for you, David Nino Rodriguez, who went viral talking about it's going down. And he is not, he's only known Q for 5 days ever since that video came out. He also needs your prayers, folks. It's heavy. It's weighing heavy on him. It's hard because we are all being spiritually attacked because it's their last stand, guys.
Yep. I mean, it is getting close to their last stand. And I have definitely heard multiple. Now, this is more than 2 sources now. I have heard that people have seen indictments in DC for people that you would know the name on. I'm not going to go further into it, but I've seen multiple different reports that are from credible sources that say that, you know, once these indictments are unsealed, arrests will be immediate. So it's looking like we are right on the verge of at least some brackets being filled in.
Yep, and yesterday I had a storm upon me. We had a tornado, Shady. Watch it hear the hail.
Hail.
Hail. So before it got really, really bad, you can see the waves of the water. It really started getting bad, Shady, and it really it hit about maybe a mile and a half from us. Mile from us.
It's over us right now.
And then I'm like, I'm inside. See ya.
Look at all the hail, all the wow. Okay, I'm inside.
Yeah, I had to get inside. But yeah, pretty interesting, right? Yeah. All right, guys. So that's really it, guys. We are so grateful you're here with us today and every day. Tomorrow, very special show. Please like and subscribe. Ways to support us are down below. If you guys want to get, I saw somebody asking about the water filter. Patriot Supply down there is the link. Get that link and look up Pure Pro.
Anything you want.
The Pure Pro water filter. Somebody's asking about the water filter in general, that's the one I use. That's the one I have. And with that, Shady, I think we're going to go out with JT's song. Let's go out with For Our Republic, guys. Because this is for our republic, not our democracy, not our constitutional democracy, our constitution, our republic. We stand for you, for the flag, for our rights. Here we go. Shady, much love, brother. See you tomorrow.
Much love, guys. See you tomorrow. Can't wait to have David out.
Uh-oh. It's not playing. Uh-oh. Okay, so we're going to go out. We're going to go out differently then because apparently we had a misfire here. Here we go. Let's just go out with this. I love this song, guys.
And I want you all to know that we are fighting the fake news. Fake. Phony. Fake. A few days ago, I called the fake news the enemy of the people, and they are. They are the enemy of the people. underestimate the people. Never. I don't think it'll ever happen again.